Hey everyone, this is Alex with the Shed app. In this video, we're going to be looking at how to set up your 3D configurator on your website. And this is the first step in 4 or 5 steps. So the first thing we're going to want to do is just verify a few things. So let's come to System here and come to Catalogs and Options first here. And the first thing we want to see is that we have 3D models linked up to the options we want, and we verify that with the little blue box there. And we see we have those here. If you don't see these, you can follow up with us and we'll explain how we get 3D models built and linked up to those options. And then we're going to want to do the same thing for building styles. And we've got those there, so that's good. That's the first step. We'll follow up in the second step by going to, we're going to stay in System and we're going to verify that we have email settings so that when a customer comes onto the configurator and they want to save a design, they get an email with that saved design. And you want to make sure this is set up right here. And you can link up your Google account, or you can use SMTP settings as well. But simpler just to stick with Gmail in this case. And then we're also going to want to make sure that we have a primary color selected for the theme of the order form and a secondary color as well. If you're unsure about a secondary color, you can just use white as a starting point, and you can always come back and change it later. And then a logo as well, just to make the branding flow through. And that's the first 2 steps. We just verify a few things. And then the third step is we need to decide how we want the customers to come onto the order form when they click on the button to come onto the order form. So let's go to order form settings here, and you can see there's a bunch of URL parameters that are available here. We're just going to want to experiment with a few of these. So you see I have one that says postcode request here. I have one that says store equals store ID. So to explain this better, let's go to, well, let's log out first of all. So we experience the order form as a guest user in this case. So I'm going to go to the order form. Alright, so here we are. And you can see the blue bar at the top is the theme color that I had chosen, and the white text inside this blue icon is the white that we had chosen, and we have our logo up here. And here initially we're showing a map with our store locations. So this is the default. You just come to a map selection and then you select the store and you move on to the product selection. However, we can change this if we want. So using the store selection URL parameter, I can use a question mark here, store equals 96. I know that's a store ID that I have, so I can do that. And that actually skips the map selection and brings me right to this page first thing. So I've automatically selected store 96. And the other method that is common is postcode equals request. And so this method asks for a zip code up front, and let's say I enter 83805. So I submit the zip code. Now it's selected a store for me based on that zip code. Now there is a little bit of setup that needs to be done with that method, and that is done within stores. You can associate zip codes to each store that you have so that they're routed appropriately. So once we have our URL, we're pretty much ready to put this onto our site. You can see here, if I click into the product, I have the 3D configurator. It's just a matter of putting this URL on a call to action on my website.